Welcome to this explainer. So, if your to do list seems to actually grow longer the harder you work, well, you are exactly where you need to be. Today, we're going to completely rethink how we manage our time, our energy, and honestly, most importantly, our attention. Let's dive right in.
Okay, picture this. Have you ever spent an entire day feeling just incredibly busy from the second you woke up to the minute your head hit the pillow? But looking back, you realized you achieved almost nothing of real value? You know the drill. You answered messages, checked your feeds, took some calls, just constantly jumping from task to task. And by the evening, totally exhausted. But the actual important stuff was still sitting there unfinished. It's so frustrating, right?
Well, here's the thing. The real culprit behind all that exhaustion, it's not your capability. As our source points out, the problem is absolutely not a lack of intelligence. The problem is a lack of focus. I mean, we live in an age where distraction is basically the default setting. These platforms are literally engineered by teams of PhDs for one reason, to capture your attention. And we end up spending our days just reacting instead of creating. So if you're struggling to get things done, it's not a talent issue. It's an attention issue caused by our modern environment. Which brings us perfectly to the source material for today's explainer. We're breaking down the core concepts from the book Deep Work: How to Eliminate Distraction and Produce Your Best Results. This text is just an absolute masterclass. It maps out exactly how to regain control of your attention, stop reacting to those endless notifications, and start producing work that actually moves your life forward.
So the source divides our daily efforts into two totally distinct buckets: shallow work and deep work. Shallow work is, well, what most of us spend our days doing. It's scrolling for social media, answering those non-urgent emails, constantly pinging back and forth between browser tabs. It's easy, it's easily interrupted, and frankly, it's pretty low value. Deep work, on the other hand, is the exact opposite. It's challenging. It requires giving your full, undivided mental energy to one cognitively demanding task without any distraction whatsoever. This is the heavy lifting. This is what creates real, tangible value.
Now it's time to dismantle a pretty massive myth right here. Deep work isn't just for, Silicon Valley tech executives or university professors. Not at all. The source makes it crystal clear that deep work is for ordinary people who want extraordinary results. It's for the market trader in Lagos who dedicates one uninterrupted hour to analyzing sales patterns. It's for the student in Accra who turns off their phone for 90 minutes just to master chemistry, the entrepreneur in Nairobi mapping out strategies, or the crypto investor in Abuja learning the ropes. It is a completely universal skill. Think of your brain like a bucket of water. Now, if there are holes in the bottom of that bucket, no matter how much water you pour in, it's gonna escape, right? This is exactly what distraction does to your productivity. Every quick glance at your phone, every little ping, every single notification is a tiny leak draining your mental energy. You might think you're still working hard, but in reality, your true focus is just slowly draining away. And this brings us to a fascinating and honestly kind of terrifying scientific concept highlighted in the text called attention residue. You might pride yourself on being an awesome multitasker, but the truth is, the human brain doesn't actually multitask. It just rapidly switches. So when you stop studying to check a quick text message and then go right back to your book, a portion of your brain's attention actually remains stuck on that conversation. It's kind of like having a catchy song stuck in your head. That leftover focus is attention residue. And it means that even a 30-second interruption completely destroys your efficiency, forcing your brain to work twice as hard just to catch back up. So how do we actually fix the leak? Well, by realizing that focus is a skill, not a gift. If you're struggling with distractions right now, listen to me, you aren't broken. You've just accidentally trained your brain to expect constant stimulation. Focus is exactly like a muscle. When you first start going to the gym, your muscles ache, right? It's super uncomfortable. Same thing here. When you first start practicing deep work, you're going to feel restless, bored, and probably a bit impatient. But that discomfort isn't failure. It's literally the feeling of your focus muscle growing stronger. To actually build that muscle, you've got to design an environment that makes focus the default setting. Before you even dive in, follow this quick little roadmap. First, gather all your materials so you don't have a built-in excuse to get up later. Second, silence the noise. Put the phone in airplane mode, or honestly, better yet, just leave it in another room entirely. Third, clear the physical clutter from your workspace, because a messy desk creates a messy mind. Fourth, set one clear, measurable objective for that specific session. And finally, remove any lingering distractions. This whole routine acts as a powerful environmental trigger. It signals to your brain, hey, it is time to work. Now, here's a trap we almost all fall into: confusing activity with productivity. The source really drives home that these are absolutely not the same thing.
Spending 3 hours researching online for business inspiration, yeah, that's just motion. But spending 1 hour sitting in total silence and actually writing out your business plan, that is productivity. Activity just makes you feel busy. Productivity is what actually gets you results. So in your deep work sessions, you've got to prioritize those actual results. And to make sure you're hitting those results, you need to lean on the 80-20 principle. This idea suggests that a tiny percentage of your efforts, just 20%, will actually produce 80% of your positive results. For a student, it's the 20% of the syllabus that shows up on most of the exams. For a business owner, it's the 20% of clients generating the majority of the revenue. Ask yourself right now, what is your personal 20%? You have to identify your highest value activities and then protect them fiercely. And the absolute best way to protect those high-value activities? Time blocking. Instead of waking up and just letting urgent emails or random sudden requests dictate your entire day, you proactively assign specific blocks of time to specific tasks. For example, you might schedule your deep work from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. when your energy is at its absolute peak. Then you block off the afternoon for the shallow work, the meetings, the admin stuff. You are telling your time exactly where to go instead of looking at the clock at 5 p.m. and wondering where on earth the day went.
To keep all this momentum going, the source outlines some core habits of highly focused people. And the good news? These aren't massive life overhauls. They're just small, daily rhythms. They start their day with clear purpose. They tackle the hard, important stuff early on. They actively limit their digital noise. They fiercely protect their attention by single tasking, meaning they deliberately choose to do just one thing at a time. And they carve out quiet moments every single day for continuous learning. Mastering all those habits really comes down to one golden rule: consistency over intensity. A lot of beginners get super fired up, try to pull off 10 hours of deep work in a single day, instantly burn out, and just quit entirely. But the source highlights a better way. Studying or working with deep focus for just 1 hour every single day yields way better long-term success than some random stressful 10-hour cram session. It's all about building a calm, sustainable practice. Give yourself permission to take breaks and focus entirely on progress rather than perfection. Look, in a world where distraction is literally everywhere, the ability to actually concentrate is becoming incredibly rare. And because it's so rare, it is highly, highly valuable. The future truly does belong to the focused. Every single time you turn off a notification, every time you choose meaningful work over mindless scrolling, you are taking back your potential. So I'll leave you with this. What could you actually achieve this year if you finally reclaimed your stolen attention? Thanks for hanging out with me on this explainer, and I will catch you in the next one.